Blog Talk Radio.
Another episode of Music Mondays right here on Endie Fiya with your girl, Nakia. Hey, guys. How was your weekend? I know mine was good. Like, I can breathe now. If you guys was tuned in on, was it Saturday? Of course it was Saturday. We celebrated our third annual Endie Fiya Radio Awards show. Did you have fun or what? I looked at the numbers. Crazy numbers. You guys was tuned in. Yes, I'm loving it. Yes, it was an amazing show. I want to say thank you to our listening audience, to our fans, our followers, the supporters of all of the nominees as well as the winners for the third annual Endie Fiya Radio Awards show. I want to say this will be probably not the last night. Okay, I'm sorry. I was about to get ahead of myself. So it won't be the last night that you have to hear our instrumental intro music because we got shows for the remainder of the week. But as you all know, our best male hip-hop song winner has to do the intro music for the year that they win in. And so Cannon Ross won for Weekend. So Cannon Ross, you know, he has to get that intro track, which I'm behind. I was supposed to send it out yesterday. But Cannon Ross, your management will get that tonight. He'll be working on that, and he'll get us the intro music. Hopefully we'll have it before next week because we're booked for the month of February. So hopefully he'll get that. And by next Monday, we'll have our new intro music. I'm super excited. You guys know Cannon Ross. He dropped that fire track, Flip. Yeah, so I can't wait to hear what he's about to put down on this beat that I'm about to send him. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. But enough about Cannon. It ain't about him tonight. I am super excited, guys, for my guest this evening. Yeah, tonight we're spotlighting Louisville hip-hop artist Solo LaMaze. Yo, I got a funny story. I said I wasn't going to tell it, but every time I look at his name, I got to tell the story. I do. We're going to talk about it in just a minute. Born in Chicago and raised in Louisville, Kentucky, Solo LaMaze is a breath of fresh air for the growing music scene in the Midwest. As with all the greats, Solo LaMaze found his passion early, picking up the mic at the age of 11. When local producers denied him access to studio time and beats, much like his hometown hero Muhammad Ali, he responded like any champion would and opened his own studio and production company, organized Swagg, before his 18th birthday. His first single, Eeeh, blazed Louisville's #1 hip-hop station, B96.5 WGZB, for weeks. And when his next single followed, Lace Me Up, he was basically a household name. Solo LaMaze was LaMaze was mentored by the late platinum recording artist Static Major. Solo LaMaze ain't normal through the gauntlet of what is the black experience in 2020 America, where everything is stacked against us, even our own communities. The goal is to survive, and instead of being afforded the luxury, to thrive. This shouldn't be normal. Stay connected with the artist on Instagram at Solo LaMaze. Endie Fiya listening audience, I present to you this evening my very special guest, Louisville hip-hop artist, Solo LaMaze.
Yo, what's good? Yo.
What's good? What's
How you
good?
doing today?
I'm good.
How you doing today?
You? I'm good.
I'm
How
great,
are you?
man.
Yo, let me tell my
great,
story.
man.
Please let me tell my story. I got to tell my story. All right. So as I was mentioning to you prior to the show, right, my mom moved us down south. Her job just moved us all around a lot when I was younger, right? So I was down south, and I was in the third grade, right? New kid on the block. Got to third grade, and I had to sit beside this little boy, and his name was LaMaze. And it's spelled the same way, right? Sit down beside the little boy, and he was like, hey, Nakia. And I was like, yeah, what's up? And he was like, look, because I'm looking at him over my shoulder, right? And he was like, look. And I'm like, nah, I'm good because I'm trying to get my studies on, right? And he was like, nah, look. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And he was like, look at me, girl, right? So I looked, and the little boy got his dick out, right? And I'm thinking, we in the middle of class, and Miss Teacher, I got to move. Yeah, and for the rest of my life, I was scarred. Like, 4 kids later, you know what I'm saying? Like, 40 years later, I'm still scarred, yeah. When I saw your name, I was like, ah, dang. I wonder if that's him, because I ain't never seen nobody else with that name in my life. I was like, ooh, I wonder if that's him.
What was you at down south? Probably was. I used to be a dirty little nigga. I used to be a little slam ball.
Nah, but I read your bio, and I saw, born in Chicago, raised in Louisville, and I'm thinking, nah, I wasn't even nowhere near, Kentucky, so nah, this can't even be the same cat, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So nah, it ain't you.
Well, I was that guy. I can't even lie. I was that guy. I came a long way.
You know what? Me too. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the glow up, for real though. But in case I start laughing, you know what I'm saying, throughout the interview, I just had a flashback. That's all. So moving on. Yo, I just want to say, I listened to Ain't Normal, and this ain't even the route that I want to take. I listened to Ain't Normal, and as I was telling you, like I love it, and I think they sent something else initially, and I was blown away from that. I can't even remember what it was, but I was blown away because a lot of the artists that we get, of course, we've never heard of the artists, and I like that, but I was blown away. And then they sent Ain't Normal, and I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, then they sent what the track actually meant, the artist's take on the track. And then, that hit me a little different because everything that we went through last year, you know what I'm saying? And your take on it, 2020 America, no, that's what we've been going through for a while now. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that even in our own community, when you would think that we would be trying to elevate one another and bring each other up, and finding a way out of our own struggles, that we're continuously trying to put each other down and bury each other. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that that's how we are as a culture. That's sad that that's how we are. But I ain't even there yet. I'm not talking about the track yet. I want to start like from the beginning. When it comes to your musical style. I know your bio says that you started at the age at 11. Let's talk about how it was back then. I don't know how old you are now, but let's talk about how it was, at the age of 11, and then just moving along. How it was having to start your own studio before the age of 18. That's phenomenal. Let's just talk about that right there for a minute. What was it like? I don't know how it is in Louisville, but what was it like when the doors are closing in your face, when people are telling you no? You can't get in the studio. Perseverance, you know what I'm saying? That takes a lot of determination and drive. For somebody who may be listening now and they're thinking to themselves, like, yo, how did he do that? What was it like for you back then?
I was just crazy enough to believe in myself, man. I always loved music. I used to listen to music, like, all the hours I was wrote. All the hours that I was wrote, I was listening to music, just listening to music. Now, I done tried a lot of things in my life. I done played sports. I done tried to be in games. I done tried everything. It was something about when music I did music, I wasn't in no competition. I was just good, and it was just natural because I naturally love music. So I think I was born to make music. My mama named me after Frankie Beverly and Maze. You know, that's her favorite group. So she was gonna name me Frankie Beverly and Maze, but she named me LaMaze. I got a brother named Lamore and a sister named Latoya. So I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's the only this is where my heart feels warm, my soul and my spirit feels good when I'm doing music. When I'm doing anything else, I'm disgruntled or I'm just not in it. But when I'm doing music, it's no Tam. Tam doesn't exist. So this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I thoroughly enjoy this.
What keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated?
Yeah.
It's the best thing. It's what I do. I mean, me keeps me motivated. Always trying to be better. I come from a class. I always hung around older people since a kid. So like I got the old school learning of how this industry works and stuff like that. And that's like me being original, me always like music is like my therapy, matter of fact. I say that. That's what keeps me making music. Music is like my therapy. I have not yet, black people got this stigma with therapy and all of that and keep it up on their mental health. And this has been the way that I've been able to keep track of my mental health, and this music was able to be my therapy. So I make a song and I'm able to live, listen to it, and all the issues that's going on in my head, it always comes out in music. So yeah, as long as I'm living life, I think I'm always be making music because that's my best outlet for everything that's going on inside of me.
And that is so important that you touched upon that. Not only being able to have a mental release or an outlet, but the fact that men in general, especially black men, not only the black community, but just black men in general, because they feel like they are supposed to be the protector of the family, the protector of the black woman, the head of the household. They don't want to show emotions, so they hold everything in. They keep everything bottled up, and it is so important that men, our black men, they have a way to mentally be able to release. And so if music is your outlet, if writing is your outlet, if the creative side, if that is your outlet, express yourself, get it out. Don't keep that shit bottled in. So yeah, I salute you on that right there. With everything that is going on in 2020, 2019, 2021, you know what I'm saying? Our black men, our black kings, they need a way to be able to release. So yeah, big up to you on that right there.
Yeah, I always been the person that kept stuff bottled up and that. So that music was always my outlet because I'm an overthinker. I'm one of those type of people that lives in his head. I'm one of those type of people that you got to do something to 5-6 times before I get mad and blow up. So, I'm always holding stuff in, and I'm always overthinking situations. And my best outlet has always been music, So, yeah, most definitely.
And keeping that stuff bottled in, that ain't good for you. And that's people in general, I used to be that type of individual as well. Caused, me to have horrible, horrible migraines, and always be agitated with the world because you keep all of that bottled in. And for me, writing, was my outlet. I'm a songwriter. So writing for me became my outlet, just an avenue of expression for me to release everything that I kept pent up. So, yeah, if you can get it out, get it out. You got to release all of that. I know your bio states that you were mentored by the late Static Major, and I know that he worked in the early 2000s with Eeeh and Genuine and Destiny's Child and Pretty Ricky.
Yeah.
I also know that he posthumously worked with Drake on the 2018 Scorpio project on that track After Dark. And I remember him as being the not so typical R&B music producer. But what elements did you take from him, and how did he influence your music career?
I mean, he's one of the greatest songwriters I ever met. I always thought, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I always thought, like, the best R&B song was R. Kelly, then, like, Static Major. You know, I felt like he was up there.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
He was great. And, like, by his resume, you can tell. And he was homegrown. And he came to my home studio. I had, like, a studio set up with a booth in the closet. And to see this millionaire, you know, he pulled the Hummer in my yard. And the Mercedes, he pulled the Benz. He'll park the Benz in my yard. And, like, and this person had been in studios all over the world, and here he is working with me with my little PC set up with a little cheap microphone and in the closet. And to see him see the potential in me, it just lets me know, like, I was going somewhere, you know, and I was just truly inspired. I was just truly inspired by, he didn't care where he caught the vibe from. That's the first thing I'm going to say. He wasn't ashamed of where he caught the vibe from. Like, he could be in Australia one day in the top-tier studio working on records with Eeeh while she shoots the movie, or working with Pretty Ricky and this and that and the third, and then he can, like, bring himself down the next day to come to the hood and, like, come record in my home studio in the closet. So, like, that's one thing. And then I just learned, like, the art of songwriting. It's more than just, like, slapping words together or, like, just trying to be cool. It's just like it's a method to the madness of these hits that we heard. Like, he doesn't go with the first thing that pops off his man, even though it might sound good. Like, because a lot of these new cats, the first thing that just pops out their man, they record it and they put it out. They put it on SoundCloud, they put it on YouTube, TikTok, and they out to the races. He was a person that really thought meticulous about what he was saying or what words he was using or what concepts he was using. Then, like, being a person that wasn't necessarily the best singer, you know, like, he wasn't necessarily like an opera singer or a John Legend or Anthony Hamilton, but he knew how to work his voice and make some of the best harmonies that I ever heard from any singer ever in his lifetime.
Wow.
And you can hear that when you listen to Missy or when you listen to Genuine or when you listen to Pressure P or when you listen to all these guys who still work. That stuff comes from Static and Player. You know what I'm saying? He was the harmony king. Like, I seen him put like 6, 7 different notes in a hook or a bridge or just one part of the verse. So just being the king of harmony and learning this technique as far as, like, yeah, he might not be the best singer, but if you turn his mic up a little bit louder where he's over the beat and he don't got to scream or belt out a sound, but he can get the note, that was amazing to me. That made me think I can sing, which led me to start doing more melodic raps and singing and stuff. Like, I got R&B. Yeah, it led me more. Because I used to think you had to be able to just belt it out like an opera singer or something.
Yeah.
And he was just like, nah, just turn my mic up a little bit louder than what's normally what it needs to be to where he can hear him, or turn the track down so I can be able to, you know, he can hear his voice. So he wasn't necessarily, like, belting out the sounds. He was getting the sounds, and he was in his comfort zone to where he can get those certain sounds. So, yeah, I learned that from him, man. Those key things.
Wow. Okay, so I just took some pointers too, like some things that I knew. But I took some pointers away from that right there. That's amazing. I'm just sitting here like in awe, like, oh, wow. One of those interviews where I don't get rendered speechless a lot. But I always tell my listening audience, you know, when they send in questions, you know, when they drop gems, make sure that you soak up all of the knowledge that they're giving you. And so this is one of those moments when I was allowed to soak up, and acquire some information that I didn't know myself. So thank you for that right there. In what ways do you think that say that again?
No, this is free game.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
for sure.
Definitely.
But what you saying, in what ways, what?
In what ways has your newer music changed from when you first started putting out music?
My newer music is just more truer. My newer music has more of a purpose. It has more of a cause. Like, you go through this stage, like when you first start making music, you're stuck in the basics or the techniques or the mechanics of the craft. So, like, long as you can rhyme or make this line rhyme with that line, then you good. Then, like, you get into your personal story. Then you get into a phase, like, where you just want to compete with other artists or the industry at whole, or you're trying to stay up to date with the industry. So a lot of artists, they just making songs that they think will be hot, or they think will be a radio song, or they think will be a club song. And then you go out of that, to where, like, I only make music if it's true to me and it has a purpose. Like, I know that's what I'm here for. Like, my purpose is my music. And my music is here to, like, make some type of change, add progression to this world, that we living in. Like, and music is my vehicle to do that. Like, you got preachers, you got philanthropists, you got activists, you got you know what I'm saying? You got a whole line of people that do their job. So I play my part. My part is the music. My music, I always want my music to have, like, a message, something you could take away from, something you can live off of. Somewhere I'm putting the medicine inside the candy. So I had the candy formatted first, and then I developed the medicine, then I learned how to put them both together. So once you can put those two together, where it, like, where it's not yeah, it's conscious, but it's not like no Talib Kweli or no Mos Def, no KRS-One. It bops. Like, ain't normal. My lady said you can put Lil Durk on there. You can put Lil Baby. You can put Roddy Ricch on there, and it'll still bop the same way. But while you bopping, you getting the message.
You getting the message.
And you're entertained at the same time. And that's what I love the most, Because, like, the record before this, I had a record with DJ Khaled. And I toured the world. I had a record with Khaled. You know what I'm saying? They got spins and did his thing. But it was with Khaled, and I toured the world. I did all that. I did the hoorah, did the high-budget video, did the sprint events, the security, all of that, went everywhere. Then, like, that situation went awry, the label deal I had with Sony and all of that stuff kind of fizzed out. I came back, and then I took a break for like a year or two, to get my mind right, because this industry ain't what a lot of people think it is. It's really crazy.
No,
and you can lose yourself in this business. Like, you can lose yourself. So I noticed that, and I took a step back. Because when I was getting like that, I was like, I got a record with Khaled, and it's the top record in my hometown, and I'm touring the world, but I'm not happy. I was more frustrated, and I had more going on the line. Now, when I did This Ain't Normal record, it was all bootstrap. I wasn't in the professional studio. I was just setting my studio. I was just makeshift in my studio in certain areas. I put my studio in a building that didn't even have permits, and just made this record out of nowhere with the lowest of quality of equipment, and just, like, locked in. And then the budget for the video was way cheaper than the budget for the record I had with Khaled. And this record, when I debuted it did 10 times as better as the record I had with Khaled. So I was like, oh, my gosh. Yeah, and I wasn't chasing the numbers.
Yeah, because the message, and as you mentioned, being true to yourself. And I think that growth, the question, the answer to the question, and you gave me exactly what I wanted to hear, It's all about growth, and that's what we've been talking about for the past year, with our guests. If you can't see, can't hear growth within yourself, and not only as an artist, but as a person in general. If you aren't able to see growth in yourself, if your listening audience can't see growth, as a music artist, then there's something that you're doing wrong. But you mentioned, that now you see yourself being more true to yourself as an artist. What you're talking about, you're bringing forth a message. You know what I'm saying? You're not just, you've gone through the mechanics, you've gone through the candy phase of it all. You know what I'm saying? And now you're bringing forth a message. And so you seeing that growth. You're experiencing that growth. And, like you said, you had the record with Khaled. You did the big name. But now, this track now, Ain't Normal, you're giving your audience what they want to hear. We are experienced in 2020 America. We need an artist that's going to tell us, what we see, what we hear, what we're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And so with living our true identities, I think when artists actually show us what we're living, what we're going through, I think those type of tracks, even with our authors, when they write about things that we're experiencing on a daily basis, that seems to hit home a whole lot harder. We can read stuff like that better. We relate to stuff like that a whole lot better. And those books sell greater. That music sells greater. The spins are more when we can just relate to it more. Talk about Ain't Normal just a little bit before we play it.
Yeah, Ain't Normal. It's everything you said. Ain't Normal is a record. When I went into my last recording, like boot camp or like recording hoorah, because like I do my stuff in spurts. Like I take time off, or I might take a couple months off, get to life, read books. You know what I'm saying? Catch up on some things, catch up on world events. I had another single I was gonna come with. Like I had the records playing. I had another single like was crazy. Like was gonna tear up everything. But it was like my spirit felt like I was missing something. Like in the batch of music, like Ain't Normal's out of a batch of like 40 songs that I did. I locked in. I just locked in, stayed off my phone, and got back into the craft and got back into having fun and just creating and like not having like a goal of where it's gonna go. So like I had a different record I was gonna drop first. I'm gonna just drop hits on everybody's head every week or every month or something like that, and I'm gonna do about 10 videos. I'm just not gonna let up. So I had those records. I had the budget lined up. I had everything, but I still didn't push the button. I was like, man, something just don't feel right. And then the way 2020 went, it was just like, yo, I'm missing something. My spirit told me I was missing something. And then the Breonna Taylor situation happened. That happened in my hometown. Then you see like George Floyd situation happen. Like all this stuff is happening. Then you see the riots, the whole world's on fire. You seeing stuff. It was like literally like 2020, it went down. So like the records that I had didn't necessarily reflect the pinnacle of what been going on for the last 2 years that we all been experiencing. And I didn't know. Like I just knew. Like I intend. Like I'm gonna tell you. Like I went in trying to make Ain't Normal, but I didn't make Ain't Normal. Like I had like heartbreak songs, I had club songs, I had some raw material and rugged, but it was like it was like the song Ain't Normal. That song was on my spirit. I was trying to make that, but I didn't know it was gonna sound like that, first of all. Like how it sound now, how you hear it, and all of that. So I'm like, I might make 10 beats one day. And it was just like, yo, this ain't it. And these beats are immaculate. I might make 10 songs one day, but it's like trying to make this record. So I finally got this. Once I got this record, the words just poured out. I was like, this is it. As soon as I heard the track, I was like, this is it right here. This is it. This is what I've been looking for. This is it. And then the words poured out, and I laid that song like in 15 minutes. The whole song.
Wow.
Laid it like in 15 minutes once I heard the track. And once I heard the song, I was like, this is what I've been looking for. So, like, I took a break. I was like, I'm cool now. I don't even got to make nothing else. This is the record. This is the record I've been looking for. So we're going to put this one out first, and then we'll put those other ones out. But this is it. This is what I've been looking for. This is the one. I didn't know what it was going to sound like. I didn't know it was going to be called Ain't Normal or nothing. But once I got it, I was like, yes, this is it right here. And then here we are today talking to you about it. 100,000 views in 30 days. You know what I'm saying? Platforms. The Source shouted me out. Like, this is my biggest debut ever. And, like, I done had records with Khaled. You know what I'm saying? I done been on tour with Def Jam, Atlantic, 300, Sony, the whole nine. I did all this grassroots level, and this is my biggest debut. My biggest debut to date.
So let's go ahead and introduce Ain't Normal to the listening audience.
Yo, what's good? It's your player partner, Solo LaMaze, checking in. It's my new record, Ain't Normal, streaming everywhere on all platforms. Y'all make sure y'all give this another spin and let everybody hear it. Spread the message. Let's go.
This shouldn't be normal. How my people learn to rest in peace. None of being messed with by police. None of being tested in these streets. This shouldn't be normal. Focus on surviving, not striving. Living in the country that don't like us. Everything you get, you gotta fight for. This shouldn't be normal. Been to jail 3 times before 18. Wouldn't believe all the that these eyes seen before we even knew what being traumatized mean. A lot of us just thought this was a normal thing. Seen a dead body early on the murder scene. The price of life is cheap for a black bean. Thanks to the internet spreading so many memes. A lot of us just finding out that we was kings and queens. Ain't no time for the pros looking like folks. We return to kiss each other by them white folks. Every time we kill each other, that be like so. Time to bet up on ourselves and let the dice roll. No time for being in it. It's time to be on business. Before you even start, you gotta see the finish. How my people learn to rest in peace. None of being messed with by police. None of being tested in these streets. This shouldn't be normal. Focus on surviving, not striving. Living in the country that don't like us. Everything you get, you gotta fight for. This shouldn't be normal. I send my heart out to my city and a million prayers. What you even saying if it ain't Breonna Taylor? So many names, just take out a name and place it here. We in the middle of a whole racial warfare. It ain't enough beef for me to speak it from now. Just know it's blacks out getting treated unfair. Niggas tired of getting pulled over being scared. We gon' burn it all down and let you see the flare. Proud of all my people, out here protecting neither. We can be lethal, but that just ain't what we do. Black men got it harder, trust me it ain't no equal. Cause we the only people, hated by our own people. Somebody please tell me where the lie, where the lie, where the lie. Y'all be quick to kill each other, not the real enemies. When you see your old brother, keep the same energy. How my people learn to rest in peace. None of being messed with by police. None of being tested in these streets. This shouldn't be normal.
you're just tuning in, you are live right here on Music Mondays with your girl, Nakia, and my very special guest, Louisville hip-hop artist, Solo LaMaze, and that right there was Ain't Normal. Yo, guys, if you go back and listen to the lyrics of the song, geez, it really talks about the Black experience in 2020 America. Y'all know I don't cry. I cry on, interviews that are very inspiring. Doesn't take a lot to make me cry, but when you think about everything that we went through last year, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a mother of 3 Black sons, and a daughter as well. And I constantly pray over my children for covering and protection. And just when you listen to the lyrics of the song, the first time I heard it, it didn't really hit me like it hit me just then. And that would be the 3rd time that I've heard it. But just listen to the lyrics of the song and just think about, everything that we've gone through, just the struggle that even our parents went through, things that we shouldn't have to still be continuously going through. I understand why the song is doing what it's doing. You know what I'm saying? I thank you for putting out that type of song, because we need it. We need it. Sorry for getting emotional, guys. Sorry.
I got emotional making it, so you know what I'm saying. I'm glad you was able to get the message, and like I said, and like we was talking about, like being able to mix that message with a song that's actually dope.
Yeah. So
melodically, sonically, it sounds good.
Yeah. When you knew that was the track, that was the one, oh yeah, I completely understand. As an artist, I completely understand. And I feel like that track is gonna go far. The momentum behind it, it will go far. I know that because it has the message that it carries. It's something that we need right now. I'm going to just leave it at that right there. If you can have your fans remember one thing about you, and not aside from Ain't Normal, but if you can have one thing for your fans to remember about you, what would it be?
Man, Solo LaMaze is for the children, man. Like, if I can just change one life, if I could change one life with my music, then my job is done. Like, if I could just if I could prevent you from a bad situation, bad decision, or like a life-altering existence, then my job is done. Like, if I can touch you to where if I can make you think, if I could just make you think, like be critical with your thinking, then my job here was done from the beginning. So, like, that's just what I'm here to do, man. Like, I just want people to remember me for somebody that made them think critically. Because our people and a lot of people don't think critically. They just move off of impulse. And it's not necessarily good all the time. So just being able to make people think critically, that's what I want to be remembered by. Well, somebody that made people think critically and just didn't go with some stuff that some people told them to do, or go with the herd mentality. Like, not, or the mob mentality, may I say, the mob mentality, or no he say, she say, or no water down, or no secondhand information. Like, you heard me, it just made you think different for once in your life. Because a lot of people think on trends. They think in a trendy behavior. Or they think with a mob mentality. So that's going on. That's a lot. So if I could just be the person that just makes you sit and just think critically about something, That's what I want to be remembered by. Was the person that made people think critically and made better decisions.
Right, and if there's somebody who's listening right now, say an aspiring artist, and they say to themselves, wow, I've listened to his track, and I have, I've heard his bio, and I've, listened to the amazing moves that he's made, and, I feel like I have the potential, just like him, but I feel like I have this stumbling block right now that may be holding me up from, getting to the next level. What piece of advice could you offer to that aspiring artist, to say, hey, push that stumbling block out of your way, that. What piece of advice could you offer to that aspiring artist?
What piece of advice can I give? I had something too. I just forgot it. Just going with your gut. And it's like believing in you more than other people believe in you. That's one thing you're gonna have to have. Like, it's believing in yourself, and it just slipped my mind because I just seen something in public. But yeah, just believing in yourself, not following the trend, and stick to it. Stick to it, man. Stick to it. Like, a lot of get out of your own way. That's what I say. Get out of your own way. And comparison is the thief of joy. That's what I say to people. Like, get out of your own way.
Yes.
That's what I've been trying to say. Comparison is the thief of joy. Everybody has their own path in life. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, people will see other people's success, or they'll be on social media, which is not real. That's not the real world whatsoever. No matter what they tell you, that's not the real world. It's not the real world. You know what I'm saying? You can't take 60 seconds or a minute and a half of somebody's 365 and base your life out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We all run our own race. And we all got all of our success is based off of our own parameters. They're based off our own parameters. So if you're a better person than you was yesterday, like if you're a person with 30 followers today and you got 50 followers the next day or the next week, are you unsuccessful? Or if you're an artist that comes out and your debut week you sell 30,000, 50,000 units, are you really unsuccessful? You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people get caught up in the hype, or they get caught up in the comparison thing. So, like, what I tell people to do is just stay out their own way and compare themselves to themselves and, like, making themselves a better them. Like, I'm not finna sit here and compare myself to Meek Mills or a J. Cole or a Kendrick Lamar, because they all have their own path in life, and we don't know what these people have to deal with behind the scenes. But if I'm a better me than the me I was yesterday, then I'm doing something right. Most definitely. Stay away from comparing myself to people. And I don't wonder why somebody has something and I don't got nothing. I just keep working. And I just, like, compare the today me to the yesterday me. So I would advise all artists to do that.
That's great advice, guys. And like I always tell you, when these artists and our guests, when they drop these gems, make sure that you don't sit on this information. Make sure that you write the information down. Make sure you soak it up like a sponge. Not only make it, applicable to your music career, but, apply this to your life in general. Free game, like you said earlier, free game. All right? I want to thank you so much, Solo LaMaze, for joining me this evening. You could have been anywhere, but you were here with me, giving so freely of yourself and so freely of your time to not only me but my listening audience as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Once you're on the show, you're always family. You're welcome back at any time. You got new music that's dropping. Make sure that we get it so we can debut it on New Music Mondays. Guys, make sure that you're right back here tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have Detroit hip-hop artist Black Tier. And then on 6:30 p.m. On Thursday, we'll have Decatur hip-hop MC Lil Strap going to be here with us as well. It's been fun, guys, but I got to run. I'm already late for Bible study. You guys have a good night.
That's right. Man, peace and blessings, man. Thank you for having me.
You are so very welcome. You enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, you too,